some stuff to say about that. Well, Phil, you got, you maybe go first.
I'm not sure how to answer that. I need to think about it for a second.
Okay. Jim, you want to say something about that?
Yeah. I mean, we're all different. We all have different experiences, you know. We're from different places. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. You know, I had a certain background there, and all that stuff very much affects my sound, who I am, how I speak, the vocabulary I use. And so all that stuff is really, really important. You know, I tell a lot of my students, you know, I find out where they're from. I'm like, well, who are the musicians in your area? Sometimes they don't really know, you know, and I'm like, wow, well, you got to go dig into that and find out, you know, where you come from, where your roots are. That's why we're all going to, no matter what, you know, there's 3 drummers here, you know, but we're all from very different places. We all sound really, really different. And so that's something I champion. You know what I mean? A lot of times we're like, I don't want to have any of my history or personality come out. It's the exact opposite. You know, I mean, we're talking about all these things, like, you know, you guys are asking, what do you think about it? Really, when we're playing, we're not really thinking about going through a checklist of things. We're just listening to each other. You know, I like, when I'm playing with other people, I like to pretend that I'm sitting in the audience too. You know, and I'm kind of, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. Cool, you know, or whatever, supposed to have a real preconceived notion of what's going on. But I think that's really important, you know, is you know, where you come from and your background, and let that come out as part of your expression. It's hard to really hold that back or keep that in. I mean, Corey has a whole different set of experiences, you know. He has all these other hobbies he's into, and it's great, but that makes him a certain way on his instrument that he's not really ashamed of, you know, and it comes out as part of the personality on the instrument. A lot of people play exactly how they are personally. I mean, that's the truth. So, you know, make it what your music, you know, express yourself. This is supposed to be about personal expression, you know.
Yep.
So I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from here.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're gonna have a lot of trouble. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good question.
No, and it is true. It's kind of a thing for me. You know, I grew up in northern Utah, and I fell in love with this music, and so I moved to a more urban area to learn how to play it. And because, you know, like straight ahead jazz is urban, you know, it's urban. It's more urban music, right? And then so I was living in St. Louis for a long time, and I kind of got to a crossroads where I was either moved to New York City or someplace else, and I decided to move back to northern Utah. And it was, for me, it was the best decision I could have made. For a number of reasons. It would have probably been great also in other ways if I would have moved to New York. But my music really, I felt, started to find a personality when I moved there, because I didn't have, you know, some of the same pressures that I know I would have had in New York to sound a certain way to get work. And so I was really able to just like think about what I wanted my sound to be. And you know, my sound, I love playing, you know, I love playing bebop tunes. I love playing, you know, standards. I love like doing all, I mean, we just played Poinciana, you know, like the tune made famous by Ahmad Jamal, like that Simon tune. And like, and I love that. I love playing that stuff, but I kind of approach it in a way that I feel is more who I am, and really who a lot of me is somebody who likes being out in the open. And I spend a lot of time cultivating that part of my personality. You know, I spend a lot of time in the mountains, and I spend a lot of time kind of by myself. And that's been a really healthy thing for me. You know, it's not the best choice for somebody else, but it was the best for me. And has a huge, huge impact on how I play music and how I approach it. And it's kind of it's rewarding to me to be able to do both those things. You know, play a music that's urban or rooted in a urban foundation, but approach it from this other thing that I love to do. I mean, I grew up a little different, than those of you who live in Vegas. I grew up in a really small farming community, and I worked on some farms when I was a kid, and I learned. From the time I was a little kid, I knew a lot of old cowboy tunes, and played cowboy tunes. I used to, I'm not a singer anymore, but I used to sing cowboy tunes with my family and stuff. And I love that. I love that. That's part of my, personality and kind of who I am. I think one of the beauties of this kind of music is that it truly has always been about the integration of different things from the beginning, West African rhythms and European harmonies, and all this stuff. I don't think should be an end to what we can pile into this music. It's a great question. Yeah.